What is going on, you Ultimate Fight fans, and we're back with another video. Sorry it's been a while, but we've got our UFC 314 predictions. I've not been doing too bad in my predictions as of late, but we've got our 314 predictions today, and let's get going. So up first we have Cohen versus Cornoli. I don't know if that's how you say her name, but we're going to go with Cornoli. And I'm backing Cornoli to get the win. Don't see as much in Cohen's game. Cornoli's got a better record. I believe she's 2-1 inside the UFC and Cohen's 1-1. But yeah, I'm going with Cornoli to get the win there at UFC 314 in the opener. And we've got an interesting fight because Tresean Gore will take on Marco Tulio. And you'd think Marco Tulio should have this pretty comfortably, which I believe Marco Tulio will win. But Tresean Gore's a tricky fighter. He comes out of nowhere with these big submissions. He has a great guillotine. He can be really powerful. He's got an interesting build to him. He's quite a unique fighter. And he's a strong fighter. He could definitely beat Marco Tulio over submission. But on the feet, it will be Marco Tulio's day. And Marco Tulio will get the win, probably by KO. And up next, we have Sumudaerji versus Mitch Raposo. And Sumudaerji, I think he's quite a big fighter for the flyweight division. I'm pretty sure, if my memory serves me correct, he is a big fighter. Raposo is decent. Sumudaerji's lost to some good guys when he has lost. But I think Sumudaerji will get the win. He has had some tough fights. He's got some good experience. I just don't know if Raposo's ready for him. And up next, Cedric Dumas versus Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. Something. Yeah. Sorry for my pronunciation, but I think Cedric Dumas is gonna get squashed. He's gonna get crushed. Well, maybe not crushed because I don't know if he will finish him, but Dumas will lose to Oleksiejczuk. Let's go with that. Oleksiejczuk will beat Cedric Dumas. He'll outstrike him. He'll just beat him. I believe he is working with the Fighting Nerds camp as well now. So that will we obviously see how good they're doing. And if he can take anything out of their book, he will have Dumas beat. And that is going to be a definite pick. I'm sure. That's one of the most sure I am in this. If I'm wrong, don't clown me. But I believe Oleksiejczuk will beat Cedric Dumas. That's one of the more confident ones I am because this card has so many 50-50 fights. Like up next, Elkins versus Juliana Rosa. Two older fighters, both with good experience. I do back a Rosa to get the win at the end of the day. I do think Elkins, he's decent, but I do see a Rosa getting the win there. It will happen, I believe. Two American featherweights, both a bit older, with that experience, but I think Rosa will get the win. And up next is one of the most interesting fights of the card, especially in the prelims. We have Chase Hooper versus Jim Miller. Chase Hooper, a young prospect at lightweight. Really tall, lanky fighter up against Jim Miller, a veteran, coming off of a big win, showing that he's still got it. And he is not exactly the tallest Jim Miller. He's a little tank. He can swing, he can submit, and he will be a problem for Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper is a very good submission artist though. If he gets Jim Miller on the ground, he could have this. Chase Hooper needs to use his length a bit more, use his reach, and he can definitely beat Jim Miller. This will be a very tough fight, but I'm backing the young prospect, Chase Hooper. And let's see how far he can go in the division. I'm not saying he's going to be a contender, but he could definitely be a ranked fighter soon. Couple more fights. It's just painful for him that he's in the lightweight division when there's people like Joel Alvarez, like Faraziam, like all these kind of fighters waiting to still get ranked and stuff, like all in and around the rankings. He will have to get a couple more wins to get a ranking, I believe. Then up next, Yan Xiaonan versus Virna Jandiroba. A strawweight contender fight in the women's division. Yan, obviously everyone knows of her quality. We all know she's a great fighter, but she has lost to Zhang Weili. There's no shame in losing to Zhang Weili. She is arguably the best women's fighter on the planet. I don't even know if that is arguable anymore. I think it's pretty clear at the minute that Zhang Weili is the best women's fighter right now. And Virna Jandiroba is a very tricky wrestler, is Jandiroba. Like, if she gets Yan Xiaonan down, it could be a long day for Xiaonan. And if she beats Xiaonan, you'd expect her to be in line for a title shot. Yan is still, I believe, the number 1 ranked women's strawweight. And if Jandiroba's beaten the number 1 ranked, she deserves the title shot. And it will be interesting because Zhang Weili's pretty much beat every other woman that's a contender at the minute. It'd be interesting for her to have a new competition in Jandiroba. Jandiroba's a very good wrestler. She could cause Zhang Weili some problems if she gets that title shot. But I am going to back Jandiroba to get the win over Yan Xiaonan today. Well, when they fight. In this fight, I'm going to back Yan Xiaonan to lose to Jandiroba. Probably by decision. I think Jandiroba will just be able to out-wrestle Yan for the majority of the fight. Yan is still a strong fighter, don't get me wrong, and it could be a good fight. And up next, another interesting fight. Similar to Jim Miller versus Chase Hooper, Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. Now, this will be an interesting fight. Similar to Chase Hooper with the tall, lanky Sean Woodson. And then similar to Jim Miller with the smaller, veteran, hard-hitting Dan Ige. Sean Woodson is on a great run at the minute. He's getting KOs. He's just such a tricky fighter, being so tall. He's so big for his division. He really could cause problems here to Dan Ige. I would not be surprised if Woodson did get the finish. But at the same time, Dan Ige, a great striker. If he catches Sean Woodson could be in trouble. It just depends on if Woodson can use his range enough. If Woodson uses his range, he should be pretty comfortable out there, you'd think. But if Ige gets inside, it could be a long day for Woodson with them punches. But I am going to back Sean Woodson to get the win. And up next, into the main card. First main card fight. Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. And the Dominic Reyes title run is back. I'm backing Dominic Reyes to beat Nikita Krylov. 2 veterans in the light heavyweight division. Krylov, great striker, very good fighter, tough. But Dominic Reyes, I think he's on a 2-fight winning streak at the minute. He's beat Anthony Smith in his most recent fight, which is obviously a good name. Not the normal Anthony Smith though, as we all saw. But Dominic Reyes, he can only beat what's in front of him, and he beat Anthony Smith brutally. Dominic Reyes versus Nikita Krylov. It's going to be a good fight if you're a striking fan, which I don't see why you wouldn't be if you're watching the UFC, but that will be a very good striking battle. Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. Yeah, good kickboxing will be on display, good boxing. I just could see Dominic Reyes getting the win here. I'm more hoping than thinking, but I'm hoping Dominic Reyes can get the win, and I'm predicting Dominic Reyes to get the win. Up next, we have a big featherweight bout. Yair Rodriguez up against the debutant in the UFC, Patricio Pitbull. A big name outside of the UFC, a veteran. And he hits hard. He hits like a truck. Pitbull versus Yair will be interesting. I am backing Patricio Pitbull to win. Maybe by KO. It depends. It just depends on Yair now. Yair, more of like a kickboxer, I'd say. If he can keep Pitbull at range, it could be tough for Pitbull. Pitbull's a bit of a smaller fighter, but if he gets inside, he will cause damage to Yair. Yair, I don't think he's really got the best chin. So them hands of Pitbull, they could cause some real damage to Yair Rodriguez. Pitbull has knocked out Michael Chandler in Bellator before. showing the amount of power he has, because Michael Chandler, we know he can take a punch. Michael Chandler is a very strong fighter. Whether he should be as high ranked as he is a very tough fighter no matter what for anyone. Charles Oliveira couldn't finish him. And we know obviously Oliveira is one of the best. So, Yair versus Pitbull. Pitbull's not as young as he used to be though. He is obviously older now. He's been fighting for a long time. But I just think if Pitbull lands on Yair, Yair could go out. Up next, the people's main event, Bryce Mitchell versus Gene Silva. And I'm a bit surprised that so many people want Bryce Mitchell to win. I keep seeing everyone liking Bryce Mitchell to win. I'm a bit surprised that people are still supporting him. And it seems like his fanship has even gone up. He's got even more fans now. It feels like it's a bit strange. But I see people arguing because obviously Gene Silva got wrestled by Charles Jourdain. And people obviously expect that Bryce Mitchell should be a better wrestler than Charles Jourdain. But Gene Silva went into that fight against Charles Jourdain and was not expecting to be wrestled. It's not what you expect when you fight Charles Jourdain. So I'm assuming Gene Silva would have had a camp of wrestling to fight Bryce Mitchell. I think he'll be comfortable. And I think Gene Silva will piece up Bryce Mitchell. We've seen Gene Silva's knockout power is not to be joked about. Bryce Mitchell, yes, he beat Kron Gracie. That's not a big win. That does nothing for Bryce Mitchell. And before that, he got brutalised by Josh Emmett. So Kron Gracie did not test the chin of Mitchell. So we do not know what the chin of Mitchell is like still. But it's going to take a lot to recover after that big defeat to Josh Emmett. Gene Silva hits hard. We could see something similar. Mitchell could be out cold. And that is my prediction. Gene Silva to beat Bryce Mitchell. Possibly by knockout. And the co-main event, one of the biggest fights lightweight at the minute. A huge fight. Just so big, not even just in the fighting, but the characters, like two of the biggest names in the lightweight division right now. Everyone knows Paddy Pimblett and everyone knows Michael Chandler. This will be huge. A veteran in Michael Chandler versus a new, you can't even call him a prospect anymore. He is a contender. Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. Michael Chandler is a tough fighter, as I just spoke about. But Paddy, his submission game will be good. I think Paddy, I know Chandler survived against Oliveira, but Paddy Pimblett could definitely, he's got good hands as well. He could definitely catch Chandler. And if he gets him in a submission, I could really see Paddy making Chandler tap. I could see a triangle choke. Paddy will get the win over Michael Chandler, and I think by submission. But Michael Chandler is obviously a great fighter, and he has heavy hands. And people thinking, will Chandler be able to rock Paddy? Will he be able to drop Paddy? And he could, but I don't think Paddy will give up. He could drop Paddy, and Paddy will get back up, and I think Pimblett will get the submission win over Michael Chandler. And after that, he realistically will be pretty much one fight off of a title shot. After Chandler, where'd you go? He wants Gaethje or Oliveira next, I believe. And if he beats them, he gets the title shot. That's how it goes. And now for the main event. Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. A huge fight for the featherweight championship. The vacant featherweight title, obviously relinquished by Ilia Topuria, who's moved up to lightweight. Volkanovski, can he bounce back after 2 KO defeats? Getting knocked out by Islam Makhachev and getting knocked out by Ilia Topuria. There's no shame in losing to them fighters. 2 of the best fighters in the world. And Volkanovski, can he prove that he is back up there with them as one of the best fighters currently in the UFC? Because we all know that Volkanovski, when he's at his best, is elite. Can we see a Volkanovski title run again? But he is fighting a great young fighter who had the breakout year last year. Diego Lopes, what a year last year. Absolutely huge, beating whoever comes in his way. He's getting some big wins. And I believe Diego Lopes is going to be a challenge for Volk. But if it goes past round 2 or 3 and it goes into them championship rounds, I just don't know if Lopes can hack it. He's not had the best gas tank when we've seen him in the past. And he is fighting a former champion, someone who knows what it's like to be in them 5-round fights consistently. I think Volkanovski's experience will come in handy. If it gets past round 2 or 3, I think Volkanovski, if he survives up until then, Volkanovski can get the win. I think he could even get a TKO win or something, but Volkanovski, if it gets past them rounds, into the championship rounds, Volkanovski will be your new featherweight champion. Thank you so much for watching this video. Our UFC 314 predictions. Hope you all enjoyed. Leave any comments or any predictions you think. And also let me know what videos you want to see next. And thank you for watching, Ultimate Fight fans. Thank you, and we're out.